that the good-looking Steve Peters?
We'll get into that a little bit later. That is my doppelganger. I think a lot of people is that Petey? I mean, it's Friday. And you know what that means? Do you know what Friday means?
Right. Go ahead.
Welcome to the PHNX Coyotes podcast, presented by OGs.
Right there on the table.
Flavor
Check it out.
Your Fridays. This is Flavor Your Fridays.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I
presented
did know
by
that.
OGs. And head to zenleafdispensaries.com and use the code PHNX at checkout for OGs on Flavor Your Fridays. So we're going to talk about flavoring your Fridays all day today. And boy, are we going to flavor your Fridays, because we're going to have some Friday fun with OGs. And I'm as we know, I usually don't read the topics of the shows.
Yes, correct.
That applies to this show.
Mm-hmm.
I read the topic this morning and I said, I don't like that topic. I'm not involved with that topic. Has nothing to do with me and or hockey.
So
I am probably going to walk off.
But fortunately, we have some people to replace you. You know,
I can't.
Personally, I am ecstatic to have something I could finally pitch in.
Yeah, we're going to talk Disney today because Wish is coming out next week, the new Disney movie. So we're going to talk a little Disney today.
I feel like we should just talk Disney all the time.
We can. I mean, I'm down with it. I have children. I like children, as we noted last night on the show. I like children, unlike Petey and Jason Demers.
I'm Petey. This is Craig S. Morgan. As always, Danielle is behind the Mac. Leah is still in Florida. It rained on her
Disney.
trip.
Can we just pause for a moment right there?
Rain.
Yeah, fine. Whatever's happening in Leah's life. Let's talk about what's happening in our lives, because Leah's not here.
Yeah.
How much the three of us are struggling, right?
Yeah, she does a lot of work. And she makes this all go seamless because it's not seamless.
Buddy,
she's gone.
This morning has
Greg's
been
hopping and
chaos.
popping, doing some heavy lifting. I got to add reads, and Danielle's got to make more graphics and whatnot, because Leah does a lot of work around here.
Yeah.
So we miss her.
Danielle has like 7 more jobs. You and I have like 2 each, but we just complain about it.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Amen.
You should write a song about that.
Hey.
Anyway. So we're going to talk a lot about hockey early. Then we're going to take a trip down the I-10. And then we're going to the happiest place on earth. And is it a big surprise that I'm not a big fan of the happiest place on earth? Is that like shocking to anyone?
I was definitely more shocked that Craig is super into Disney and you aren't. That was a bit of a shock to me.
I will qualify that. I will say that as far as Disneyland and Disney World, not a big fan of that. In fact, I think that's like commercialism gone crazy. Fair. So
have you been to both?
No, and our children had to go with someone else to actually get to go, because we didn't take them. You don't want to get Tara started on this topic, because she is like anti-Disney World and Disneyland because of all that commercialism. But as far as the movies, I mean, I'm a dad, and they make great movies. We'll get into the Disney versus Pixar thing later, but those are some of my best memories, taking my little kids to see Disney movies. They loved it. It had an impact on them. So, yeah, I love the movies. I love going to the movies.
They were on VCR, because I put them into my kids, and then I went to sleep. And here I knew I had an hour. My kid would...
Going back to what we discussed earlier.
Babysitting. That's a true story.
Babysitting.
Okay, let's
do you
talk
consider
hockey.
that babysitting when someone else... What do you consider it babysitting when you have to watch your kids?
No, but that was a babysitting moment when I gave them the Disney videos. I had an hour.
I have a friend and a former colleague who called that babysitting when he had to watch his own kids. No. And I won't call the person out by name, Darren Urban. Okay. But there it is, yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so let's start off with the Coyotes are teetering with a record similar to what they had a year ago when they were fighting for draft picks, and a guy named Mike Rupp giving them a big shout out last night on the NHL Network.
I saw that, yeah.
So they're getting some national love for the first time in a long time. But we still think the draft is important. We know Bill Armstrong loves his draft pick. So Craig thought it would be a great idea to start doing a way, way, way too early look at not only 2024, but 2025.
Well, you know who had this idea before me? Corey Pronman with The Athletic, who we've had on this show many, many times.
Corey's got way too much time on his hands.
Corey Pronman put out a story that he called 2025 NHL Draft Top Prospects, a way too early ranking.
Oh, well, at least he titled it right.
So there you go. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but listen.
No, there's some names. You should know the top 2 or 3 names in each draft. You should.
I don't even know if we should worry about the top 2 or 3 names. Let's look maybe a little down at like my own wish list, knowing what Bill Armstrong likes in draft picks, knowing what I believe that you and I think both believe that the Coyotes still We're not talking about Macklin celebrating because
the
Coyotes are winning a draft
what if they
lottery.
win the draft lottery, though?
It's not happening,
Maybe this is the
buddy.
year because you're going to wish it up.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of
you're looking at
an OG's Friday.
You're looking at guys in that middle range that fit
a little lower than the top
in the middle,
2 or 3, right?
In the middle.
Yeah. So
what do you got?
First off, here's my guy here's my guy in 2024. And he's got a familiar name. His first name is also Artem, just like Artem Duda, who I can report, by the way, just had his final hearing for his 3rd NCAA appeal. So next week, for good or for bad, they're going to know what happens to Artem Duda, whether he gets to play at the University of Maine or not. If he doesn't, as I reported in my mailbag, he's going to play somewhere in North America. He's going to get a chance to play the second half of this season. Can't tell you where yet because it hasn't been decided, but I know what's under consideration. But that will come down. But another Artem Lifshunov, right-handed defenseman, currently playing for Green Bay in the USHL, 6'2", right-handed D. Bill Armstrong likes his size. This team needs another top 4 defenseman in their system, in my opinion. I know there's some good prospects. Aside from Duda, obviously, we can talk about Simashev. We can talk about Mavlam. We can, there's a bunch of guys.
Kesselring, Zuber.
Yeah, Maximilian
but
Zuba.
You're right. If you're going to be deep in a position, the position you want to be deep at's defense. Because a couple of things. One, I think you win championships with defense. I really do. And secondly, those are the guys, as you can look at the injury reports, those are the guys that get hurt.
Yep.
Because those are the guys those are physical. They're blocking shots. They're getting hurt.
Yep.
So you better be deep.
Like now, they're down 2 deep.
There you go.
So Artem Lifshunov, let me just read you one graph on him from Corey Proman. Lifshunov is a highly talented, offensive-minded defenseman. Still think they need this in the system, in spite of the fact that, wow, Sean Dursey is really impressing thus far. Lifshunov can skate pucks up ice with impressive mobility, has the skill to beat good defensemen, and he can make plays. Lifshunov is also a shot threat from the point. He'll run a power play and be able to help an NHL team in transition. His defensive play could use some work, what prospect couldn't at that position. But for his age, I'm not that concerned. So that's my guy, knowing what Bill likes, knowing what we think the team needs. Yeah, what they need. That's my dream. That's my dream.
Pencil it in, no pen.
Yeah, definitely pencil it in when it's me talking.
Because when they do the ping pong balls and the Coyotes comes up first, buddy. It's Yzerman or Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah. Have another OG.
And not Steve Yzerman.
Have another OG.
With a Y, it's with an EI.
Corey Proman currently lists him as his 7th best prospect in that draft. So that fits. Okay, let's jump up to 2025.
2025.
2025.
Are we still gonna be on the show in 2025?
Who knows, buddy? Maybe maybe Leah will. But not the rest of us. So at some point, the Coyotes will have a little bit of a lottery luck. And I'm not talking a top 2 pick, because we know that the NHL never awards the Coyotes a top 2 pick. So in 2025, when the Coyotes are even a little better, I'm calling for a big jump in the draft up to which spot? Which spot do the Coyotes often get when they don't get quite high enough? Number 3. So the number 3 draft prospect for Corey Proman in 2025
is now 12.
He's a guy named Roger McQueen. He's a center for the Brandon Wheat Kings in the WHL. You know what I like about Roger McQueen? First of all, he'll immediately be called Lightning McQueen. Yeah, that will be his nickname. He's also 6'5", a right-handed center. He's got size. I think the Coyotes need some size up the middle. Right-handed centerman who can skate and handle the puck like an NHL player. He can make unique plays for a guy with his size, and the way he creates around the net gets you excited about his NHL potential. McQueen can dominate at times, but he can also be inconsistent, which reminds some evaluators of Kirby Dach a bit at the same age.
He's 16 right now.
6'5"
at 16.
6'5".
Well, there you have it. And I like the name of Roger, and we can pronounce that. And McQueen, you're right. Zing or Shing or whatever the hell they says.
Ka-chow is what he says.
I was close.
Speaking of
Zing.
Disney/Pixar movies.
I was close.
I think that's Pixar, isn't it? Help me out here, Danielle. Is that a...
Yeah, Cars is Pixar.
Cars is Pixar. Ka-chow. I'm done. I'm done with that topic.
So there's 2 names to keep an eye on. Pencil them in now, because by the time we get to those drafts, we want you to know everybody that should be going in the first round, similar to what we did a year ago, because we all knew about Simashev and we all saw him going. And no, we
all predicted that. But we know the Coyotes can, find a way to watch Russian players,
and they get really good players in the draft. So it's a couple of good names, and I think it is important for fans. I think you get more invested in your team when you can start looking for things down the road. So that is exciting to see where these drafts are coming up, where they have so many picks over the next few years. But another thing that's exciting is there's a new there is talk.
Mm-hmm.
The most exciting play in hockey is 3-on-3 overtime, or at least that was the idea when they started.
So what happened to 3-on-3 overtime?
People started to coach it.
Bingo.
And defend it and think, oh, we can
Coaches always take the fun out of the game.
That first year was fun.
Yeah.
It was back and forth, breakaways and 2-on. Now it's like, let's bring it back. Let's slow it down. Let's
keep possession. Don't let the other team touch the puck the entire OT.
So the general managers meetings, or the board of governors meetings, I'm sorry, they're talking about changing the structure of 3-on-3. Craig, thoughts?
Couple things that they're discussing, and there are problems with these. One of them is, when teams like to maintain possession, if they can't figure out something in the offense, so they'll circle back. They'll go back beyond the red line, go back into their own line just to maintain possession, just to get a change maybe, right? Get fresh personnel out, and then the puck carrier can get off. So, but possession has taken the fun out of the game. I get it. So they're talking about maybe like almost in basketball, like a half-court violation. You can't go back past the red line.
Once you've crossed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
But there's problems with this. What if it gets tipped? What if, there are a number of plays. Look, how do you call that? And do you want to add more whistles to the 3-on-3? So, and Mike Johnson brought up a good point. Our good friend Mike Johnson, who used to be a Coyote and now is in my opinion, one of the best analysts in the game. 3-on-3 was already more gimmicky. So the other thing that they're talking about adding is shot clock.
Love it.
Can you imagine it? It would make it even more gimmicky to have a shot clock.
For sure.
I still love the idea of a shot clock. This is where I don't know where you stand on this.
Once you cross the blue line, the clock starts.
Yeah.
Or is it red line? Either
Cross the red line.
Cross the red line, clock starts.
Yep. And what's the shot clock? How much time do you get? It's only a 5-minute overtime.
Is it 10 seconds? 15? 15-second shot clock?
I don't know. Here's the last thing I want to ask you about.
And then after the buzzer goes, you got to dump the puck in behind the goal line and get out of the blue line. Love it. I don't think there should be any whistles in overtime. None.
Wow. Except
for a puck over the glass. Otherwise, if a goalie freezes if the goalie freezes it, just like shinny hockey, that team has to go outside the blue line. The opposing team has to go outside the blue line, and you have to start with it. Goalie drops it behind the
no whistles.
Goal line.
I like this. That's great for flow. Let me ask you about this other idea.
I have one other rule.
What if, and the PA keeps pushing hard against this, and you understand that they don't want to exhaust. It's mostly skilled players on for 3-on-3, right? I like the idea of extending overtime to 10 minutes instead of 5 so that we have less shootouts. Although shootouts are fun. That's even less hockey than 3-on-3.
I don't like the 10-minute. I think you need to change something to make the 5 minutes more offensive and more exciting. And one of the things that when hockey first started back in the early 1900s, forwards weren't allowed to come across the red line and help defend. So what I would do, I'd still play 3-on-3, but there's one player that can't come back across the red line to defend. So he's so you take Clayton Keller. Clayton Keller can only play on the offensive side of the red line down. That's it. Take away the blue lines. There's no offsides.
Wow.
And now it's 3-on-2 in the offensive zone.
This is
fun.
When
you get the puck, you fire it down to the other end of the ice and then hope Clayton Keller gets it first. You automatically get breakaways. You got no offsides because there's no blue lines. It flows, and you will absolutely be done in 5 minutes.
How do you feel about ties? If we were to go back to ties.
Hated ties.
Me too. I mean, I get it. Like, you don't want to beat the hell out of your players.
Hate ties.
I get it, but
and this is me.
I mean,
we've had it for so long.
I go back and forth on this too. Like, I get it, but it's you go, like, as a spectator, you go to a game, you watch 60 minutes of hockey, then you watch overtime, and you come away with no decision. Yeah. That's a little frustrating. And there are other cultures who view this entirely differently than we do, but
the ties are okay.
We are not those cultures.
Yeah, so, European football, they seem to have a lot of 0-0s.
Japanese baseball,
they have ties in that too.
I think so. Still, I don't know if they still do. I haven't researched Japanese baseball.
I don't know, but I agree, Craig. But I'd rather see a shootout and see somebody win. I really would.
Yeah,
I think if you made some small changes to the 3-on-3 overtime, I think we would eliminate. I really do.
I'm intrigued by some of the things you talked about.
I think eliminating
no
the
whistles.
Offsides,
I love
eliminating the offsides. No blue line. Remember back when I first started working in the NHL, they still had a red line and there was 2-line passes.
Yep.
And you could freeze the puck along the boards. You get all kinds of whistles with the puck along the boards. Oh, they'd freeze it against the boards. Like, you can speed up this game.
Yeah.
And make minor tweaks. So I'd like to see them make minor tweaks before you get rid of it completely.
So only penalties or pucks over the glass. So that's the only time that the clock stops. I like it. All right.
Okay. And now, since we're talking about new hockey things.
Just wanted to say to the NHL, you're welcome.
Yeah. And Chris said cut it to make it 7 minutes. Cut it right in half. Okay.
I can do that. We can do that.
Shot clock. Nicholas says no to the shot clock.
No to the shot clock.
Yeah, okay. I don't mind it. I like to hear the buzzer go when Clayton Keller's just about ready to take a one-timer.
You have those reviews where did it cross the goal line, or did he release it right before the shot clock?
Well, there's another new league coming, the PWHL, the women's league, and their marketing guys and gals figured, hey, let's put out the new jerseys.
Did they
before we have team nicknames
or
and
a schedule?
Before we have a schedule or logos. Well, you know what? Let's jump all over this before we do any of that, and let's put out jerseys. So before we show the jerseys, and we will. I think the most important thing about the jerseys is to correspond that jersey with your team name and logo.
You think?
They don't have those yet.
Not just city? Not okay. We're talking, of course, about the PWHL, which rolled out, should we call them placeholder jerseys? I don't know what to call them. We know that the PHWL is PWHL. Wow. Take 3.
Yep. Oh, wait,
it's going to come into play today. PWHL is going to be in certain cities. And, you know, these jerseys did confirm that for us in case there was any doubt that they were going to be in these cities. So without further ado, Danielle, let's roll them out. Here they are. Yeah. You know what, Danielle, why don't you walk us through them since you're behind the Mac and can see this better? Go ahead.
Oh, boy.
Who do we have here?
This feels like if you asked me to design a hockey jersey, it's like this. Yeah, hockey. Yeah, they're certainly hockey. So we got Boston.
Famous Boston colors of green and white. I guess.
Boy, I would love it.
Celtics.
It would be so great if I could give you their team name. I could be like, here's the Boston. Nope, we don't have
do that.
So
hey, but they are the Bostons for now.
The Bostons. Montreal shades. The Montreals. The Montreals shades of Coyotes coloring here.
You know what? I will give this. I think we have another photo of the Montreal jersey. If we can flip to that for just a second, because one prop on this at least that I want to hand out. Oh, look at the accent aigu over the E. Thank you, Montreal, for at least getting that right. The Canadians do this as well.
That's called the aigu.
They punctuate correct accent aigu.
Accent aigu, let go my accent aigu.
And the accent over the E in Danielle Briere is the accent grave.
What?
But never mind. We can go back to the jerseys now because I think we need to tell people where else the Montreal Maroons league is going to be.
The Montreal Maroons, it's maroon and green. Is that right?
Buddy.
And it says Montreal.
You were alive then, I wasn't. So.
And the purple, because here I know where the purple team is. Because you know where the purple team is?
Where?
It's Minnesota, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Vikings.
It's the Vikings. It is also Prince.
I love that.
Purple Rain.
So my personal
Purple Rain. Purple Rain.
What that's what inspired it.
Of course.
Minneapolis native.
It's
Prince.
Minneapolis. It's the print. Yes. Yeah. Purple.
My personal favorite thing about all of this is there's no originality in the colors. It's all somebody else's. So we got the Celtics with Boston.
Yeah, the Montreal Maroons, which you don't know.
We got the Yotes. We got the Yotes with Montreal.
And the Yotes, of course, because why not?
Yeah, sure, why not? Right? We got the Kings with the purple, and then just Blackhawks. Every single team.
Well, that Ottawa's Ottawa.
And
that's Ottawa, right?
Yeah, and
that's their hockey team.
We have the New York Liberty.
I don't know if I like that color.
What's going on with that color?
The New York Liberty is teal.
Really? That's teal.
That's teal. I would call that teal.
Okay.
Or Kraken as well.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty Kraken-esque. And then
what team is that?
The Maple Leafs here.
Is that Toronto?
Yeah.
That looks like Tampa Bay, but it's black, white, and blue. So again, I don't mind the colors. I really don't. Don't mind the colors. That's not even the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is, what are you doing creating jerseys without a nickname?
I don't know. Like, that was that hard to do?
And a logo. Can they wait?
Listen, I know this was last minute kind of stuff.
But can they wait a few weeks?
Yeah, the season had to start till January. Of course, we don't have an exact date in January because we don't have a schedule.
There's no schedule.
But we know it doesn't start until January. So could you just wait until maybe a little closer to Christmas when you could roll out the team logos? And sell them.
You can come up with a logo in a month, can't you?
Yeah, I would think.
Like you and I could probably come up with them
this
afternoon. We're not going to.
How long has this league been in planning?
Months.
Yeah, it's not like this is just thrown together.
It's not
like
this
they've
weekend.
had this. Yeah, like let's throw together a logo here. No,
we're not
going to
do this.
Of time.
But I'm pretty sure the three of us could sit down at that table after this and come up with 6 logos.
We could do this in one brainstorming session, or you could ask your fans to do a name the team contest, give them 1 week to vote, and choose the winner. Boom.
And it's OG Friday.
This has been done before.
By the way,
no, this is a really fun idea for Monday's show.
It is.
Let's design logos.
All right, we will name the teams.
Well,
and if you want to chime in
on Tuesday, not on a game day show.
Okay, we'll do it on Tuesday show.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's a game on Monday.
Chime in the Discord on what to name all these teams. Feel free. We will come back to this on Tuesday. Maybe we'll have some consensus by then.
And don't forget, it's OG's Flavor Your Fridays, and what better way to get creative than taking an OG and trying to come up with PWHL logos. Okay, let's talk about outdoor hockey. Because we know the next one is going to come to... No, it's not coming to Arizona.
Seattle.
You know,
join the league a few years.
Big surprise.
Host the Vegas Golden Knights.
Big
there
surprise.
You go. Okay.
Coyotes have been here almost 25 years, Craig.
So the Athletic reported that they're really considering doing it in Ohio Stadium, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes in Columbus, which I love. Fantastic, great venue. Yes, do it there. And there's even been some discussion about a South Florida game between the Panthers and Lightning. I don't know how the hell you do that. You did in LA though, so you can do it. Probably,
so
how
you
do
it in Joe boxes?
I have no idea how you do it
how
in
many
Miami.
teams are down to 5?
So
Seattle goes in, then it's 4.
If
Columbus gets in, it's 3.
Yeah, and then it'll be the Panthers and Coyotes.
And the Panthers.
2. Just the Panthers and Coyotes if Columbus hosts that game. Because Seattle is hosting the game. They're hosting the Winter Classic.
It'll be down to, after all of these
Panthers and the Coyotes.
It'll be down to 1.
And Steve Mayer with the NHL did tell me last year, if you remember when I toured the league office, it's going to happen within 5 years. Now, listen, do I think the Coyotes need to secure their future in Arizona first? Yeah, I do. And that's in play for the All-Star game as well. They're not going to get an All-Star game until they get a new arena. They're not going to do that at Mullet. But if the Coyotes secure their future, I do believe that the league will get them an outdoor game, but they may be the last of the NHL franchises to host one.
They don't have to have it here at I don't even know the name of the stadium anymore. The ASU football stadium. I'm sure it's Sun Devil Stadium.
Sorry, it's Sun Devil Stadium to me, and that's all I'm
calling it.
It
would be fire, but it's fire, and do it there. But if you can't, make them a road team. Who gives a shit? Let them play in the outside. Like, how can this... It's so on brand for the National Hockey League to have the Coyotes be the last team to have an outdoor game. 25 years in existence. Pittsburgh's had 30 of them.
Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are in it every year.
Washington. Buffalo's even had 5 or 6.
Hey, don't get Sean DeBoz angry with you.
Okay, I got that out.
But I want to say something about the state of Arizona. If you don't... you should do it in the Valley, and I do think Sun Devil Stadium is iconic. It would be really cool. But there are other options in this state that would be insane if you want to think outside the box. Grand Canyon, Sedona. Sedona's still reachable from the Valley, unlike the Grand Canyon. It's really tough, right? Sedona. Can you imagine the Red Rocks as a backdrop?
Love it.
It's cooler up there.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Cool. COVID, they did it at Lake Tahoe with no fans.
Sign me up. Let's do it in Sedona.
Sedona. Well, we're talking about Coyotes really quick. They're heading to their final game on this road trip in Winnipeg. Craig, give us the injury updates that you're aware of.
Yeah, unfortunately, Barrett Hayton going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with that injury sustained. Surgery likely. Sorry, not going to throw what the actual injury is out there. I believe in medical privacy for players. So he's out for a long time. They're going to recall Jan Yenik from the Tucson Roadrunners if they haven't already. Matthias Michelli appears to be okay. Got some significant dental work performed, but he appears to be okay. I was told he was walking around today, probably enjoying a liquid diet for a while, but he should be back in the lineup. So that's good. They need Matthias Michelli. Then going back to a couple of the other injuries, not sure on the full timeline for Juuso Välimäki yet. But if you remember, Travis Dermott went out of the lineup on November 7th. I was told that timeline is 4 to 6 weeks, so he's going to be out a while still. Jack McBain went out on November 9th, and I was told that timeline was 3 weeks from that date, so still a couple weeks away for Jack McBain. So the Coyotes are in one right now. Till the end of the month, assuming they don't get any more injuries, they're in one already. They're going to have to make do. If they find a way, Petey, to even get 1 point in Winnipeg, what a road trip in spite of, all these losses, all the adversity they've faced.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you can get a point out of Winnipeg, that's fantastic. You get concerned when a team gets injuries, especially when this team has off to a seemingly good start, and you'd like to see them to continue that. And it's hard to do when you start seeing guys drop. The other thing we want to keep an eye on tomorrow for the Saturday postgame show, make sure you tune in because we're going to talk about what they ended up doing with the lines. Where does Logan Cooley play? Who plays with Schmaltz and Keller? There's a lot of things that are going to have to be decided tomorrow. And tune in here after the game because we're going to tell you all about it.
You know what won't have to be decided?
Oh.
Who's in goal? They're sticking with it. Sticking with the rotating goalie approach. Karel Vejmelka will be in goal. And you know what? We're going to have the perfect person in studio to discuss it with because Eddie Lack's joining us on the
He's going to talk goaltending and
really, he's going to try and sell you a house.
He will try to sell us a house. I swear to God he will.
I hope he does, actually.
I'm sure that's
no free ads, right? Well, we can't. It's not like we can stop Eddie Lack from doing what he does.
Since we're not doing free ads, let's get our ads in, Craig. You know what? Because you are you stopped keeping your money under the mattress years ago, and you put it at Desert Financial Credit Union. True story. Craig's money is safely tucked away at Desert Financial Credit Union, one of our newest partners. We love them, and we know If it's good enough for Craig, it's good enough for all of us because Craig's better than us. When you open a free checking account online, get $200 in bonuses at Desert Financial Credit Union. And you can get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. And then after you do that and put your money in the bank, every time I read this, I want to go
cash out. Take a little
bit of cash out. Not much, just
not
a little.
Much. Don't need to take a lot out.
Don't need to take a lot because you go to Legal Pete's. Go to Legal Pete's, and it's quick, and that's my favorite part. I don't really have to talk to people. I like that. I can get my food and get to the bar and get a drink in 5 minutes. I don't have to order.
What do you get when you're there?
I go with the bowl usually. Although I did the deep fried taquitos the other day when we were in Tucson.
They have so much good food.
It's unreal.
We already know about the queso. If Leah were here,
I accidentally put queso in my bowl last time.
She'd be talking about injecting it into her veins.
But Craig, the queso soaked into my white rice.
It's so good.
It was like Mexican mac
I am
and cheese.
big on the nachos lately too. Black beans,
Danielle,
chicken,
you've been to Illegal Pete's?
salsa,
I go to Illegal Pete's probably twice a week.
So good.
I can't even remember the last time they've charged me full price. Like, I'm that much of a regular.
Wow. I don't get that treatment. Do you?
Buddy.
No.
I don't get that. No.
Do you get mistaken for Steve Potvin when you go in there?
No. But if you have tickets for a game, any game this season, you have any tickets, head to Illegal Pete's before or after any ticketed event and score a house margarita or a draft beer for a penny.
A penny?
Yep, that's it.
1 penny.
With their sound check promo. So make sure you stop by Illegal Pete's. We love Illegal Pete's, one of our favorites. Now, without further ado, we promised our headline interview with the man, the myth, the legend, and he now goes back into first all time.
Uh-oh. We're saying it on the show.
Of our guests here on our show, and it's time.
Most appearances, one ahead of Coyotes GM.
It's time to get all of these questions answered and all of the new players getting called up from Tucson. It's time to go down the I-10 and visit and check in with head coach Steve Potvin.
Steve, thanks for joining us. Or should I do an intro, like saying, are you going to do that in the intro? Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, of course we're going to do that in the intro. Anyway. And yeah, we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to talk about and then okay. So we're going to get right to it. So, take two. We are joined now by Tucson Roadrunners head coach.
Did we just say not to do that?
Potvin. No,
we just said not to do an intro.
Not do that.
Don't do an intro. I said don't do an intro.
Together, would you?
So Steve, because we're going to say it's time to turn it over to head coach Steve Potvin.
Okay.
And take three.
So, Steve, give us some general thoughts on what the Roadrunners have accomplished thus far this season. I believe you guys have one of the top 4 winning percentages in the rugged Pacific Division. Do you like what's happening down there so far?
Geez, I didn't realize that we had that type of winning percentage. You know what? What I like about our process right now is that our guys enjoy coming to the rink, and they want to learn and they want to get better, and they're trying to find ways every day to get better. Honestly, I know those sound a lot like cliches, but we've got a lot of players that like being at the rink. They like to lace them up, and they like to get better. They love the challenge of the American League, and honestly, that's what I like so far the most is that the guys really enjoy being here. They enjoy battling, competing, practicing every day.
But you wouldn't mind winning, right?
Do you guys want to take a take 4 on that answer?
No, we'll just let it go. See, that's what happens when you pre-record stuff. You can get away with that, right? But Steve, we talked about preseason. That we said that this is an important year for this team, that you thought you had the pieces to win. Do you still feel that you've got off to a start, that you can still look for a playoff spot this year?
Yeah, you know what? We definitely want to make the playoffs. We definitely believe in our group. What I like about our group is that our young guys are really able to push the pace. They're contributing offensively. They're contributing with the pace of the game. You know, they're working relentlessly every night, and so they're earning their position. And when you have your young guys earning their position, earning their ice time, it's a pretty good mix.
You mentioned some of the young guys. We want to talk about some of the young guys. Obviously, a big part of the AHL is development, trying to get these guys NHL ready. And as we have been expecting for a couple of years now you have some of the high-end prospects playing down there. Let's start with Dylan Guenther, who, some people wondered if he would make the roster this year after playing a bunch of games last season in the NHL. What have you seen from Dylan thus far?
Well, you know what? I like his compete. He wants to do well. There's no doubt about it. He likes to win and he wants to score goals. but you know what? He's really taken in the information that management has sent to him, and he's applying it. He works hard every day. You know, he's working on his pace. He's engaging in battles, and just seeing him compete every night, you know that there's something special there. So he's trending in the right direction, and obviously he's been very productive for us as well. So we like the way he's trending. We like his approach. We like that he's committed to the details. He's open to learning, and you really couldn't ask for more.
One of the questions I have about Dylan Guenther is he is a kid that expected himself and a lot of the fans, as Craig mentioned, that he expected to make this the big club up here in Phoenix. The question to you is, how is his mindset coming in when he got sent down to Tucson? Did he? I mean, that's a tough spot. Does he sit and pout, or does he put his work boots on and find a way?
No, you know what? Of course, he felt like he had a chance at making the big club, and of course, as you said, it did affect him and it hurt him. But you know what? It only lasted a little while. He really has a winner's mindset. He has an elite mindset, and he knows what he needs to do. And it didn't take him long to have both feet on solid ground. And he's really adjusted really well. You know, he knows the challenges that he has. And like I said, he's willing to accept it. And he's willing to take that next step and improve and show that he can improve. And we couldn't be happier with how he's adapted and adjusted to the American Hockey League.
And before we move on, I just want to let everybody know that he is leading this Roadrunner crew with 11 points in 11 games. So he's a point-a-game guy down there. Before we move on, and now Craig.
Yeah, want to ask you, of course, we want to ask about Josh Doan as well, who had, you know, an incredible camp, an incredible preseason. Wondering if he'd been able to carry that over into his first full season in the AHL.
Well, he really has. You know what? At training camp, he scored at such an elite clip that's hard to keep up with. You know, that not many players can score at the clip that he was scoring at. And when he started the season, he was getting the same amount of scoring chances. So we knew it was a matter of time that before he started to score more and more frequently. You know, he was putting himself in good positions. But if you watch his game, he never stops moving his feet. He never stops competing. He's pushing the pace. He has an elite stick. You know, he does so many things well when he's not scoring that he just earns trust, and you're able to play him shift in, shift out in difficult situations. And you know, now as of late, he's been productive, and you know, he's a player that's been able to lead the charge. So we couldn't be happier with where he's at.
He leads this team with 5 goals, and I know we were surprised when we saw him in preseason how at the pace he was scoring at. Yeah. Are you surprised he's doing this well in the American League after playing in college last season?
You know what? I'm not. I know the mindset. We know the family history, but you know, he's an elite person. You know, he knows the game. He knows it in and out. He cares about the game. He loves the game. He studies the game. He's open to learning. He's just a really great kid that, you know what, he puts his time in. When you put that much time in and you respect the game that much, like how can you not have success? And I'm just thrilled to see how hard he competes. And like I said, he never stops moving his feet. And so he's put himself in some really good positions. And you can see now the pace of his play is expanding.
Speaking of the pedigree, Potts, has he already been able to transfer over some of that Doan approach to things and become a leader at this young age? I'm just curious how he's blended into that room, what his role is in that room.
Yeah, you know what? He's just himself. It's funny, but you know what? You kind of wonder how that's going to affect him and how it might affect his teammates. But he's just such a light-spirited guy. He's an easy guy to be around. But then when the puck drops, he's an elite competitor that wants to win and wants to improve and wants to help his team. He's a great teammate. He always tries to do what he can to make his players around him better. You can just see that he cares a lot about his teammates, and so it's easy to get along with him, you know. And he just really just goes about his business, and he just works. You would never know that he's, you know, part of the family or has pedigree other than the fact that he has the last name and the elite mindset.
Steve, I wanted to ask you about a couple guys that were recently recalled, a couple of defensemen, unfortunately, because of injuries to the Coyotes. We had Jason Demers on the show last night, and I know he's a big Michael Kesselring fan, but I wanted to ask what he has brought to that club. And then another guy that's been down there that people keep talking about, wondering when he's going to get a recall. Well, and I never pronounced this correctly. Is it Kolyachonok? Vladislav Kolyachonok. See, I just wrote about this too.
I know you wrote about it yesterday, and it came out, and I was going to call you Craig, but I decided not to. But we'll talk about that later.
Let's talk about the two recalled
defensemen.
Yes.
You know what? They both have obvious NHL qualities. Their skating is elite. Both of them can really skate at an elite clip. Michael is such a big person. He's a big man. And, you know, once he simplifies his game and he plays real consistent 5-on-5 hockey, he's going to be an NHL hockey player. And same with, you know, Coley's a player that, you know, his details are really sharp. His skating is elite. His puck decisions have gotten better, which has gained a lot of trust. He's been able to gain a lot of trust from us and his teammates. And, you know, it's a matter of putting those together every night and just being consistent. And the more consistent his decision-making becomes, the more trust he'll have and he'll earn, and he'll be an NHL hockey player. He's been physical when he needs to. He's closing when he needs to. And I think it's just a matter of time. It's just, you know, there's a deep lineup right now in the NHL, and, you know, it's going to take a little bit of time. And when there's that much depth, I think you put a little extra time into it, and you recognize that the little details mean so much. And so he's taking advantage of every minute down here, and he's working, and he's working hard to get to the next step. And so is Michael. Michael Kesselring is doing the same. Both of them have elite mindsets and elite work ethics.
Well, you talk about depth, and now you've lost two of your top defensemen on your club are now up here traveling with the Coyotes. What does that do for your group? Is that a huge hole, or are you just next man up?
Well, you know what? It's a hole. We have so much depth. Like, kudos to management that we have a lot of able players that are right in behind, you know, and they're excited to be part of the lineup day in and day out now. And they've been waiting for this opportunity for a while. So we do have the depth to back up the call-ups, and if injuries happen. So it is next man up, and they're ready to go.
What about one more defenseman we asked about? Because we talked about him in preseason and training camp as a guy that has an NHL stride, and he looks like he could be here at some point with the Coyotes. It's Maximilian Zuba. How has he been so far for you down in Tucson?
Well, he's been good. He's been good. You know, Zubs doesn't get affected by much. He's got so much calm and cool in his game, you know. So he fit in really well. He's got an elite stick. He can keep guys to the outside, and he doesn't get a lot of scoring chances against him. You know, he's got to continue to work on his gap and his skating, and once, you know, he pushes that pace a little bit more, and he pushes his skating and develops a little bit more in that area and gets a little bit stronger, he's got you know, an NHL career ahead of him.
Steve, I'm going to go off the map a little bit here and talk about something we were talking about off the air. I got to bring it up because every time you come on the show, Petey just gets angry. Because,
I know.
Because you look better than him. Honestly, that's what it is.
It's true. So, he's got the beard and the glasses, but he's unbelievably fit. He's tan. I don't know how you get a tan working as a coach in the American League, because you should be working. Unless there's a tanning bed there. I've never seen a tan coach.
We are working.
Oh, look at that. He's like...
These are tanning lights.
There they are, right? There they are, right?
This is true multitasking. He's doing an interview. He's breaking down tape, and he's getting a tan at the same time.
And just to say this too, Craig got a haircut for this interview, and I'm not sure, but it looks like he wore makeup, because I don't know if he's trying to impress you, but he looks quite handsome today himself.
See, so Petey's really feeling left out.
My screen is too small. I'm on my phone, so I can't really tell or comment, but I'll take your word for it.
All right. So are we going to do this then? I think we need to have a skit at some point. We need to do a bit where you play Petey in a movie.
I would be honored if he played me in a movie.
What would you think would be the greatest challenges, Potts, to playing Petey in a movie?
Well, I don't know. I I don't want to take full credit for this jab at him, but I think caffeine, being caffeinated, being as energetic, and maybe I don't know if I can really, I don't know if it comes off the tongue quite the same way Petey it would when coming from Petey. You know, he's got that swag when he talks. I don't know if I have it.
There is definitely a lot of caffeine involved. But before we let you go, you've got a big series this weekend. Starting tonight, you play Coachella Valley Friday and Saturday night. They're just behind you in the standings. How do you feel about your club going into this weekend?
Well, this is a really good team that we're playing, and obviously we played against them in the playoffs last year, so that still has a little bit of added motivation for us. And you know what, we're really honestly treating this like a playoff series. We're playing them 3 games in a row, so we were able to steal the first one on the road. So this second game now is all been about trying to match the opposition's emotion through this week, because we know that they're pretty emotional about the 2 losses that they've had in a row. They lost just the other night against Henderson. So this week our focus has been to try to match the emotion and the intensity of our work ethic. You know, we had to match that intensity to be ready for a big game here Friday night. So now they've lost the last 3 in a row, and you know, we've been real, I would say we've been real intentful in practice this last week. So we're ready for them, and hopefully it translates to a good win.
One more quick one before we let you go. Last one. Ivan Prosvetov gets picked up on waivers and heads to Colorado. How's the goaltending situation been for you at the early start of this season?
You know what? Matty's stepped in here and he's fit in so well. He's just won the respect of the room immediately. Guys, you know, really took to him quickly. They all want to play real hard for him. And then it's opened up the opportunity for our young players. Anson Thornton's going to get an opportunity to play. And you know what? He showed so well in rookie camp that he's earned the right to, or earned the opportunity to participate in some games here. And so we'll see how that continues to develop. He's earned our respect. He's played really well so far. Played 2 games for us. He's you know, given us an opportunity to win each night. He won his first game and lost the second one in a close, competitive, narrow battle. And we'll see what he does this weekend.
Steve, thanks for taking some time out of your day. I know you're prepping for this series, but we appreciate you joining us for another segment of Down the I-10. Good luck against Coachella, and we will see you soon when we get down there for another show.
Can't wait to see you guys. Thanks for having us on. Thanks for caring, boys.
Take care,
Potsy. Well, we are now dialed into what's going on down the I-10 on this OG's Flavor Fridays Friday. And you can jump in and bet on this one right now on the Tucson Roadrunners versus the Coachella Valley Firebirds tonight. The Roadrunners are the long shot here. They're plus 105 on the money line. So you can jump in. Make sure you go to your BetMGM app. Sign up for the BetMGM app. Use your bonus code PHNX. And if you haven't by now, what are you waiting for? Jump in. Use PHNX. Place your first bet at BetMGM Sportsbook. Wager through BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application of at least $10, and you'll receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details. And now, listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
And speaking of money, who doesn't want to win $1 million in Big Red's showdown?
$1
million at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You can be a part of the $1 million Big Red Showdown at Gila River Resort and Casinos, Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vicuiva, and Santan Mountain. Sign up for Gila River Resorts and Casinos $1 million Big Red Showdown. Stay in the game and get rewards. It's that easy. Visit GilaMillionShowdown.com to get in on the action. For more information on Gila River Resorts and Casinos, all they have to offer, head to play@Gila.com. And now, without further ado, on this OG's Flavorful Friday, I cannot believe we're doing this.
Oh. Who's ready for another hour?
Oh, we're going to talk for an hour.
You need some OGs.
And you got to host it, Petey. So, because everyone else on this show, including Danielle behind the Mac, is geeked for this portion of the show. Yeah. As Disney gets set to release Wish on November 22nd, it's already been released in Hollywood, of course, because they always get everything first. I don't know why. Maybe because it's Hollywood. Anyway, Wish is coming out, the new Disney movie, next week. So we thought we'd bring in some Disney fans, some people who don't hate children like Petey and Jason Demers, to talk a little Disney right now. We've got the mayor, Derek Montilla, and we have Jacob Franklin, also known as Jeffrey, or many other aliases, depending on the family or nation that he's living in at the time. But anyway, we're going to talk some Disney today, and we have several categories that we broke down. But first off, just tell me a little bit about your Disney fandom, boys.
I mean, obviously, I think I speak for the panel here when I think I'm probably the youngest person sitting here. Yeah. So obviously, I grew up in a golden age of Disney. Really hard to not enjoy what I was seeing as I was,
If you have a soul, yeah.
If I was I was 10 as some of these movies were coming out, maybe even 5, and so I was really in the prime age to enjoy Disney. Not to just throw that in your guys' faces.
Craig was just born when they created Mickey back in 1918.
I actually thought it was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, and it was a welcome relief to get Mickey coming out of World War One.
Yeah, huge fan of Steamboat Willie. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's my whole life has kind of been dominated by the mouse. So it's hard not to be a Disney fan growing up in my era.
Yeah.
Derek.
Well, I mean, for me, I am much older than Jacob, as he pointed out, and he loves to point out as often as he can. But yeah, I grew up in the VHS puffy box Disney movie era.
What's that?
The puffy boxes,
I actually think I've seen one of those in the attic.
Yeah, they're probably around your house somewhere. Everybody has somewhere. It's like the trilogy of Star Wars movies that came out there in the 90s. Everybody has that somewhere in their house right now. But no, I mean, just didn't grow up with a Cartoon Network or anything like that. So like rewatching those movies were kind of like my thing as a kid, and I just was always a huge fan of animation. My family was like very artistic, so like drawing characters from that all became kind of just like part of stuff that we did together. And going to Disneyland, obviously, which I know that curmudgeon down there is absolutely.
We need an ISO camera.
He'd just have his own little.
It's understandable. You don't like crowds.
I have never felt this negative of an energy coming off of PD before in my life.
Stick around,
buddy. Buddy, this is every day.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
It's impressive. But yeah, no. Also, I was a lad when the Disney Afternoon was created. So thus, that was like one of the greatest moments. Disney Afternoon. It was a specific set of cartoon shows that were created, 30-minute shows based on movies or stuff like Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck.
Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears.
Nice.
Gummy Bears.
Are these real shows?
Knowledge being dropped right now.
Yes, these are all real shows.
I'm with you on this one,
Petey. I want to ask you, when you were growing up, you have to remember the wonderful world of Disney, right?
Yes,
you remember watching that on Sunday. There you go. Okay. So that was a part of your childhood. Yep. Part of mine as well.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Wow, look at you.
Followed it.
Yep. Wow, Petey.
I had it back to back.
Do you hate the fact that our Disney was not as...
Who was the host of Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom?
I don't remember the guy's white-haired guy with the white mustache. I don't remember his name. Yeah. Do you remember his name?
I'm trying to remember. I'm blanking on it right now.
See, that's why he hates everything.
Jim. You remember his assistant, Jim?
Yeah.
Now, while Jim sticks his head in the mouth of the tiger, I'll watch from the safety of the helicopter.
This why it makes sense, because all of his Disney stuff was all educational. So, of course, he hates it.
Okay.
So
my parents were big Disney fans as well. And then, there was a pause in my Disney fandom. And then I had children, as I noted earlier. If you have children, you like Disney. And some of my best moments with my kids were taking them to great Disney movies. So that's why I have a special connection to this. And yes, my kids are excited about the release of Wish. So what we did today for this show is we created a few categories. And I asked
Marlon Perkins. Thank you.
Marlon Perkins. Thank you. That's it. Jacob and Derek to weigh in as well. We created some lists for, there are 4 categories, for the best Disney movies of all time. And we had to rule out Pixar, which made it complex because that relationship.
Pixar would dominate almost every list.
It's complex itself, right? That relationship. Was it a Pixar movie before Disney bought them? And now Anyway, it's all confusing.
It's always felt separate too.
Yeah, but we've eliminated Pixar, just so you know. And then we chose, chose the top 10 movies. We chose the top 5 characters the top 5 villains and the top 5 songs, one of which I was playing just before we went on the air.
He was very excited about.
So anyway,
I've never heard of any of it.
Yeah, of course you haven't.
Oh, come on.
Of the top 10 characters of the movies.
We'll get there.
No,
so the songs you'll know.
Do you know what happened to me yesterday? I got mugged by 6 dwarfs.
I knew it.
Not happy.
I knew it. I knew this
Not
was
happy.
there. I knew there was some sort of violent connection to this.
It was a dad joke.
Yeah, it was a brutal dad joke.
How is a man that makes a joke like that not love Disney? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Patrick Brown laughed at it.
Okay, get to the list.
So let's start, without further ado, with the top 10 Disney movies
Good Lord,
of all
there's
time.
a Coyote game tomorrow at 6. Can we have this
we
done
only go
by
5
then?
deep after all?
We decided to go 5.
All right.
I'm not
sure.
sure. I'm not sure. I've got The Lion King on mine twice.
This is not.
That's how much you love.
Oh
Lion King.
no!
So not
I'll look
correct.
up my list.
Oh no!
I'll look up my list.
I am definitely not.
This one's on me.
Zootopia and Mulan in my top.
Oh wait,
5.
no, it's the wrong names.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, I really messed this up, didn't I?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems.
Yeah,
Wow,
I
I for real messed this one up.
OG's Flavor Friday.
Derek, is your list in the middle?
My list is in the middle, but I did not have Robin Hood in there, and I also did not have The Lion King as top of my
Okay,
top 5
since
twice.
I messed this one up so horribly bad.
Are we going to read them?
Yeah, we'll go here. Craig, Frozen.
Mine
Frozen
looks
number
great.
1. Big Hero 6. The Jungle Book. Robin Hood and The Lion King. Derek.
A word about... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Read
okay.
them out first, and then we'll get to the discussion.
So okay. Derek has Aladdin. I just switched it's the wrong faces.
Yeah.
So Aladdin. Oh, these might all be wrong, huh?
No,
I
the
just
top
realized
three-
that.
the top three are correct,
all
but-
of these graphics might be wrong. I may have really messed
Why
this
don't you
one
get
up.
mine in?
Anyways,
Drop mine in
no,
the
we're
Slack.
good. We're good. I'll just
Okay.
read it. Anyways, so Derek, Aladdin, The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, and The Jungle Book.
Okay.
And then Jacob is The Lion King, Zootopia, Mulan, and
Zootopia, is that a real movie?
Moana.
Okay. So a word of discussion here.
Okay.
I put Robin Hood on there. And as I said to you the other day, Derek, that's an old movie. And I didn't put Bambi on here because, quite frankly, I don't think Bambi stood the test of time. Robin Hood has aged well. And there's a reason for that. There's certain characters why. But I want to talk a little bit about Robin Hood and get your thoughts.
Robin Hood is a fantastic movie.
Is it though?
I love
It
Robin
is.
Hood. And see, here's the thing: is going back to not to knock Disney princess movies, but again, because I was a boy watching these, like there were certain movies that I always held the different place, and Robin Hood was one of them because it was one of the few male protagonists, right? That was like in a movie. So like just as a kid, I found like Jungle Book and and Robin Hood and stuff like that. But like Robin Hood was just a great telling of the story, and I think that also there was part of it that there used to be a lot of characters walking around Disneyland from Robin Hood.
Has great characters.
That you don't see anymore.
No,
Those
it
guys
doesn't.
aren't around anymore. But like I have a lot of fond memories of meeting those guys at Disneyland too, which was incredible.
I'm going to ask you guys about your top choice. I'm going to talk about Frozen. Why I chose Frozen first is because of the impact it had on my kids. And we were talking about this the other night. That was their favorite Disney movie at the time. I didn't see a movie with them that impacted them the way that movie. So when you see it through your kids' eyes, it changes your perspective on everything. So that's my reason for Frozen at the top. You guys.
The reason why Frozen isn't even in my top 10 is because I saw it through my kids' eyes 475 times.
That is
So,
the movie that got chronically overplayed.
Especially when my
And a certain
daughter was
song.
like 3 when it came out. And, of course, that's like 3 to like 6. We watched it more times than I can count. Aladdin, I just always felt like was just a great movie. It was a great overall story. I like, obviously, Robin Williams. I was a huge Robin Williams fan when I was a kid. So,
Yeah.
Genie is just such a classic character, and it's so much of him in it. But there's just so much about Aladdin that I really, really enjoyed and I got behind. And I was like, I want to say I was 11 when Aladdin came out. So it was just that perfect,
All right.
age for me. A lot of those movies from the late 80s and the early 90s, of course, because of my age, I really hold on to. But I'm with you on stuff that I've watched through my daughter's eyes. That's why Encanto was part of Encanto was part of my top 5, because for me, especially, with the big Hispanic family and my daughter just loving that movie and loving all the music in it. That was the one I felt like we really got connected.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Jacob.
So The Lion King is the only movie in my top 5 that wasn't like a recent Disney, because it's followed by Zootopia, Encanto, Mulan, Moana, all more recent Disney movies. But I think The Lion King has done an incredible job of aging well, as you guys put it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The music is iconic. It might be probably the most famous Disney soundtrack. I know Frozen blew up, but over the course, I mean, it literally had a Broadway show.
Yeah.
And
the Broadway show is incredible too.
Correct. So from a soundtrack standpoint, I thought it was a 10 out of 10. From the storytelling standpoint, I thought it was a 10 out of 10. It's one of the tried and true, like I can go back and rewatch that movie as many times as I want and it'll never get old to me. So just from an iconic standpoint, it had to be top of my list.
All good reasons.
Lion King is almost a perfect movie, except for the fast forwarding of Simba's life from small, cub. There's little things.
You want to be there for 4 hours?
I do want to be there for 4 hours. It's a great story. No, I'm just saying. No, I mean, when I was looking through these movies, there was stuff like that. I was wondering how I could nitpick. I was trying to get nitpick.
All right. What do we have next, Daniel? Is it characters? Top characters for Disney?
Yeah, we got top characters, and this one is right.
Okay.
We just got to give me a second here. So we're going to stretch it out. I'm going to talk about Disney because we didn't talk about my Disney fanhood.
Yeah, what's your favorite one?
We got a very correct graphic on that one. I know that for sure. I love Disney more than anything. If you guys have spent more than 5 minutes around me, you know that I'm constantly singing. I am constantly singing Disney songs. I sang them
before the show today.
Oh yeah, I sang them all the way to work today. So here we go. We're ready. We got Disney characters. This one is right. Oh, I messed it up that one too. But you know what? That's fine. This is cool. We'll keep it that way. So here we go.
Hi, I'm down here.
Yeah, you're over there. We're just gonna do that because this show's getting this show is getting off the rails, huh? I had like 2 weeks in a row where I didn't make a single mistake, and then 2 days in a row. Here we go.
Anyways, working for 78 straight
hours, let's discuss.
Yeah,
I'll get the next one right.
Well, look at this. Derek and I chose Genie.
Yeah.
I mean, the genius of Robin Williams, right?
Yeah.
And I later read about it as well, how much of that was improv.
Right. Which, that's just what he is as a person, right? Like it would almost be a mistake to try to fit him into like some script or something you were pre-writing for him, but that's why it came off so I don't know, I guess sincere. Like he was just such a great character. So much fun.
You chose Eeyore.
I did.
Go ahead.
Have you met me in person?
Yeah.
It describes my personality to a T.
Also Petey.
Yeah.
He's actually getting work done for ESPN right now.
He's over there just like, I'm done with this conversation.
So what do you like about Eeyore? You just connect with him?
It's tough because it's like, I feel like this is the reason Eeyore has stood out to me. Is Disney characters are, and obviously they go through their trials, but at the end of the day, they always turn out happy.
Yeah.
Eeyore just stays that way. He just is what he is, and I very much appreciate it.
And it makes you feel like when you are that way, that it's okay to be that way, right?
At least I can hold on to Eeyore.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird reasoning, but like it is one of those things where it's like, like it. Sometimes you're gonna be sad. Sometimes things aren't gonna go your way. Like, it's okay.
And like, what's funny?
He still had friends.
What's funny about that is that's kind of the reason why Winnie the Pooh is 2 on my list, is because unlike Eeyore, Winnie the Pooh just made me feel like optimistic like that, right? He's the ultimate Taoist. Everything is gonna be okay, right? So it's like,
do you hear that, Petey? Taoist. You know what that means, buddy?
Yeah.
He's not even listening
to him. I was trying to get to some philosophy with him, but no, there was there you go. He gets it. But again, it's the everything's okay. That's okay. It's all right. And like I don't know. I just love that about him. A lot of my characters also are always sidekicks. Like it was hard for me not to have a list completely comprised of sidekicks because they just tend to be the best characters in Disney.
Olaf made all of our lists, I think.
It did not make my list.
It did not make,
but he probably should have been on my list.
Olaf definitely.
Olaf's a great character.
Olaf is a great character.
And I mentioned Robin Hood earlier, and so now you know why more than any of the other characters, I have Robin Hood on my characters list because of Sir Hiss and Prince John, and now we have the animated villains who are also on my animated villains list. Yes, in a tie because they played off each other.
Yeah.
It was their relationship was central to the story, and they were the best characters. So if you haven't watched Robin Hood, go back and watch it. Go ahead, guys. Tell me. Well, we both chose Ursula.
We agreed on Ursula.
Yeah,
again.
Ursula's a phenomenal one. I'm pretty sure she was 5 on my list.
Yep. You chose Scar, though.
It's a fun fact about me. I actually helped direct a 7th grade musical for Little Mermaid, and so those songs are permanently etched into my brain. So I think maybe that's what put Ursula down. I do believe that I have Poor Unfortunate Souls very high up on my my music list.
That's a good one.
But I mean, it goes hand in hand with my favorite movie. I went with Scar for best villain. Goes without saying that like the movie of Lion King wouldn't be complete without the perfect villain, and that's what I think Scar is.
Yeah. We all had Cruella de Vil on our list, I think, and that's interesting to me because Cruella de Vil used to like terrify me as a kid. Like I legit there are other villains that they, like Captain Hook, he was just kind of funny and stuff, like, but Cruella de Vil, she was legitimately
mean.
Mean. And like she wanted to turn puppies into coats. What's that shit about, right? Like I mean,
that was some serious
stuff. Right. It's terrible.
That's pretty dark. Go ahead, Daniel.
When I went to Disneyland the other day, a couple weeks ago, Cruella de Vil was like going down Main Street and was waving at everybody, and my brother and I were like, "How could you wave to this monster?"
Right.
Of all the Disney villains,
she's probably disingenuous too. She's trying to
well, I mean, okay, so this might be a hot take. Of all the Disney villains, Cruella de Vil is the worst person.
Yeah,
because there are ambitions behind other people, like power, whatever.
Right.
Cruella de Vil just wants a puppy jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
That's horrible.
See, like Gaston is on my list, and I love Gaston because he thinks he's the hero, right? And that's the whole thing about his character is that he's not. He thinks he's the dashing prince. He thinks he's the guy. And so many villains in life do think they're the hero. Like people in real life that are terrible people, they do not sit there and think that they're the bad guy. They often think that they're doing what's right. And
just one thought on this idea that Cruella de Vil is the worst person. The only one that gives her run for the money is Ursula, who literally wants your soul.
Yeah.
Literally wants your soul, and she has collected.
Yeah.
To get back at her brother. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Just get a therapist. Just get a therapist and work through this. All right, let's move on.
Couldn't
to
that be said about just about any of them?
True. That's fair. Let's move on to our last category: best songs.
Ooh.
I want to be like,
you know some of these.
Yeah, you do know some of these. I want to be like you is currently in my rotation on my my playlist. I want to be like you from Jungle Book.
I mean, I saw like
you. I don't know if this is going to get us to
number 2 on my list.
Yeah. The Bare Necessities.
Bare Necessities. Yes, I know that song.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's on all 3 of our lists.
You can play that, can't you?
It's a big bear. I know that.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Kind of
I Let It Go again because of my kids.
Yeah.
Made it, but Hakuna Matata is a great song.
Craig? Let's Let It Go.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Let It Go.
Oh boy.
What's Let It Go? What? The song, Let It Go. What is it?
You really don't know that?
Don't drag him into.
Don't put him down.
Yeah.
You really don't know that from Frozen?
Everybody.
Never seen Frozen. Why would I see Frozen?
Because there's things that I don't see.
Like
that
I saw Disney movies.
Know.
My kid's 25. I saw him when my kid was 8. He's 25. I don't sit around watching Disney movies.
I've never seen a Saw movie, and I know the whole plot and the ending.
No,
like sometimes that's what happens.
That's the show we should be talking about. That's a good movie.
Yeah,
1, not 2 through 10.
Okay.
1 was great. Fantastic cinema.
I didn't mean to take us down.
It's on a low budget. It's on a low budget horror film that was deeply thought out about.
Save us, Danielle.
Troubles.
Save us from this. He wants to talk about Saw movies while on Disney Day.
We're going back. We're going back here.
Unfortunate Soul, help me out. What movie?
Little Mermaid.
It's Little Mermaid.
What?
Little Mermaid.
Haven't seen it.
It's an Ursula song.
In summer?
If you watch movies when your kid was 8, you should have seen The Little Mermaid.
In summer?
He was just playing In Summer for you. That was the Olaf song. The little,
okay,
the
don't
little
know who
dancing,
Olaf is. Never saw Frozen.
Under the Sea? You know that one?
Under
the Boardwalk.
Under the Sea.
Under the Sea.
No. Go ahead, Daniel.
Under the Sea, first song to ever be nominated for.
I almost brought my ukulele in to play Under the Sea for this. I was really close.
I think I've heard Under the Sea.
I thought about it.
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
I think I might have heard that song, right?
Okay.
That would have been on radio and stuff.
Yeah, because it's from 1988. So yeah.
Is it that old?
Yeah, it's that old.
It's crazy old.
For real?
For real.
Yeah.
All right, we ready for my picks?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm realizing this is the first time Coyote Stream has ever seen my face. So here we go. That's
Let's
me.
go.
Yeah, movies. The Lion King, number 1. Tangled, Moana, Mulan, Princess and the Frog. Princess and the Frog, criminally underrated. I did mess up on this one. Oh man. Okay. Well,
OG's
character. I'm telling you. Wow,
this
Jacob.
is what happens when
can I keep my job?
No.
Jacob,
Sure.
can I please keep my job?
Sure.
Anyways, okay. Character. Genie Mushu. Nobody talks enough about
Mushu's good.
Eddie Murphy with Mushu.
Spectacular.
Timon, Flynn Rider, also criminally underrated Tangled.
Cusco is close on mine too.
Cusco, Arizona Valley legend, David Spade. Villain, Scar, not even close. Scar is the best Disney villain. The Shadow Man, again,
brother.
I love that. Hades, James Wood, questionable human being, phenomenal Disney villain. Shan Yu, and then Ursula, and then songs I am going to try not to sing. Whole New World.
I know that.
Go the distance.
A whole new world.
That's Aladdin.
I can show you the world.
Yeah.
Go the distance. Circle of Life, Under the Sea, and Reflections. There we go.
There it is.
Mulan has underrated music.
ISO cam on Petey.
When I was a kid, I saw Mulan 4 times in theaters.
You can't spell hockey without HK. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. All right. That concludes our Disney segment. I want to thank Jacob Franklin, Derek Montilla, of course, Danielle behind the Mac for participating in this, and, Petey for
after that graphics disaster, I don't know why you would want to thank me.
For staying on set. Because you got to close out the show for us, Petey.
Well, we got ads to read. We got to make money here at PHNX, and we're going to start with my favorite sunglasses. And I know Derek just got his new ones in today.
I did.
Because they replaced his broken ones, because that's what Shady Rays does.
I lost them. I didn't break them.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I just lost them.
And they said, here you go.
No questions asked. No shame heaped in my direction.
Well, you know what else is coming up? Thanksgiving, and that means it's Black Friday time.
That's right.
And Shady Rays is currently in their biggest sale of the year for Black Friday. Don't miss out on the best deals for shades, snow goggles, and prescription sunglasses, which I have to wear because I can't see and I'm not vain like Craig. Go to shadyrays.com and try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by about 250,005 people. Because I figure all 5 of us do too. And Circle K, I know Derek Montilla is on the gas pumps at Circle K. I am not. It's criminally.
I mean, it was in Slack, Petey.
My soul is trapped in the gas station pump.
It was in Slack,
but I didn't go.
Yeah, I mean that was your fault.
So I'm not on there.
That's your fault.
I know. A lot of things are my fault around here, but it's because I don't read stuff, and it's fine. I show up, they turn on a mic, I talk hockey. I don't talk Disney. But you can join the Circle K Inner Circle, where you get how much off?
25 cents off
25 cents off your first 5.
Off your first 5.
First 5 fill-ups.
Yeah.
For how much? Free.
Free
99.
Just got to download the app.
Just download the app and join the circle. Get your Danishes. Is that what you call them, Greg? Baked goods.
Baked goods.
Baked goods. I like the chips. Circle K snacks, phenomenal. I like the orange slices. They're nice and juicy.
Yes.
They remind me of being a kid. So join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to flex because we talk Disney all day. I'm the only one here that actually has an employee badge.
This is ridiculous.
From Disney.
This infuriates me.
From the Walt
That's
Disney
crazy.
Company. I am the 100-year badge, and it says Steve on it.
Petey, for content's sake, are you willing to watch all the Disney movies?
No.
What else
in
did
the
you
off-season?
get? What else you got over there?
Can
Show
you
the
tell
other
me the
thing.
significance of the 100-year badge? Is that for your 100th birthday?
Yeah.
Your
100 years
it's
with
100
Disney?
years of Disney.
You crotchety old man.
100 years of Disney. And I am apparently a part
You
of
have
it.
something else, don't you?
Yeah, they sent me this, and people
It's
have actually
a lithograph.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a lithograph.
It's a lithograph.
Limited edition
all,
lithograph. Don't get the corners bent
It's
up. What are you
all of
doing?
the Disney characters in front of Disney Studios.
Yeah.
Wow.
And people actually want this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet because a lot of people want it.
He's going to give it to me.
I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with it.
If you don't want it, Petey, I'll take it.
You're going to have nothing to do with it when you bend it.
Yeah, you're just
Okay,
keep
that's why I brought
messing
the
it
cardboard.
up.
But
What
anyway,
are you doing?
I promise that we're going to talk about hockey again tomorrow when Eddie Lack joins the show for the postgame show after the Winnipeg Jets, where the Coyotes finish up their road trip in Winnipeg. They need to get a point out of a lot of injuries, so we're going to talk about it tomorrow on the postgame show. That's it for today. Follow the show at PHNX_Coyotes. Follow Craig at Craig S. Morgan. I'm at S. Peters Hockey. Abraca Danielle. I have Jacob Franklin 4.
Jacob_Franklin 4 because he's the 4th best Jacob Franklin. I'm Captain Caveman, Cap_Caveman with a K.
And there you go. Like this, get this, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Tune into the YouTube channel. Subscribe on the YouTube channel too. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks for joining us on this fantastic OG's Flavorful Fridays, and we will see you tomorrow after the Winnipeg Jets game. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.